Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Mondays with Marketing. I am Jake. I am the host, your friendly AMS out of the Scripps Ranch office. Today is the start of kind of a new era for Mondays with Marketing with our new time every Monday at 1:30 p.m. You can join us right here in our private We Marketing group. You can join us on the public Windermere Homes and Estates Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel. Just search Windermere Homes or Windermere Homes and Estates Marketing or We Marketing, and you'll be able to find us, find archived versions of all these shows. And we're just super excited. We're hoping that this new time is going to encourage more people to join us live and get involved in the conversation. And we have different guests lined up as well. So this week is our first guest that we have. This is Michael Castro. He is our AMS out of Del Mar, and he is basically, we kind of call him our video marketing guru. He does all of our kind of video editing that we need for agents, and we're just super excited to have him. I'm excited to have him on the show to talk about video marketing. This is going to be the first of a two-part series that we're going to do. And yeah, so I encourage you guys, definitely ask questions in the comments. When I have a guest, it's much easier for me to monitor the comments. That way I can actually get your questions on screen and we can answer them in real time. So again, without further ado, Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Jake. I am also very excited.
Yeah, no, this is cool. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today, and then you had put some stuff onto our team Zoom chat, and it was a phenomenal idea that we haven't really been able to touch on, but we have been having more agents request things to do with video marketing. So this is super cool. One thing that I want to talk about before we jump into the nuts and bolts of this is kind of why it's important. And this goes back to previous conversations that we've had on this show about SEO, about making sure that your website's optimized, make sure that anything you post on the internet, it's searchable and that it can be found. And one thing that happened recently is Google did a full-on algorithm update that really affected search engine results pages to focus more on understanding the intent behind a user's search rather than the exact wording that they're using. Google's always kind of been really good at kind of being able to pick up intent, but this new update makes it even more important and makes it even better at finding, even if we did a vague search term about, insert random topic, Google search results will give the user something that's going to be relevant. And this is really big in video too. Google favors video, just like we've talked about Facebook, Instagram, and the other social media platforms really favoring video. And if you haven't noticed on Google search results, videos pop up as your search results. They're one of the top things that show up. And so for real estate agents, how do we get seen? How do we get those videos up there? Starts a lot with SEO. And Michael's going to talk more about SEO with video a little bit later in this. But things like, making sure the title of your video is correct and optimized for search, making sure that the file that you even upload into YouTube has a proper title to it that the algorithm can search as well. And things like descriptions, everything needs to be optimized to help you be successful. And today, like I said, it's the first of two parts. We're going to start by giving you some of the basic understanding of what video marketing is and what you can do to get started. And then we'll dive deeper into the subject in a couple of weeks. But Michael, let's jump into it, man. So video marketing for real estate.
Let's do it. Am I leading off?
Yep, all you, buddy.
Okay, awesome. So before we go into kind of the nuts and bolts of video marketing as it relates to Google and YouTube, you need to kind of understand your cornerstones of your business. For real estate agents, that would be kind of your brand image, your MO, purpose statement, as well as kind of your overall campaign. These are going to be instrumentals in not only just identifying you as an agent and why you're different from the hundreds and thousands of other agents, but it's going to provide you great copy and keywords as you move into YouTube and optimize through their search engine. And so one example I want to kind of start off with is, say we have an agent who wants to do business predominantly on the coast from Imperial Beach all the way to Oceanside. We want to keep this person in mind because this cornerstone of keywords would be relatable to when we do a search in that Southern California coastal homes, Imperial Beach coastal homes. These are kind of the keywords that not only would go into searching, but as well as kind of the copy and brand image that you would want to convey to your audience. Now, Imperial Beach and Oceanside don't yield luxury, luxury, luxury. They're more kind of the working class public people. So this also takes into effect of what your brand image. So if you want to sell luxury real estate, then maybe you market Northern County coastal homes. But nonetheless, this needs to be taken into account because video marketing is a facet and a component of your overall marketing campaign. So as we move on to understanding the definition of video marketing, it's rather real simple. You use video to promote your brand, product, and services. And it really can't get simpler than that. There's a lot of tricky things that go into it, and we'll get into that next. But what's great about video marketing is that it's multi-sensory. You can see, you can hear, depending on the content that you're creating, whether it's through film, whether you're just creating YouTube videos to show your recent new home. Depending on what it is, video has the power to make people laugh, cry, reflect, cheer. And this is pretty powerful, whether it's through music, whether it's through the copy that you create, if you're a great writer, or maybe you're just a good public speaker and kind of can think off the top of your head and kind of roll with that train of thought. So as we scroll down into the next part of video marketing that I want to get to, there we go. It is digital, multi-sensory, and it's one of the best ways to connect and catch with your audience because of that multi-sensory experience. But there are types of videos that tend to find success more than others. But for our sake, we're going to describe three simple ones. The general types of videos would be to teach, to entertain, and to essentially kind of upsell. When you can combine the two former, that's when the great likelihood of your video getting an increased viewership. With increased viewership, the YouTube algorithm will get to see that and also will help you out. We'll touch up on what you need to do for to optimize through YouTube a little later. But once again, when you can teach someone and entertain them at the same time, you have a very good chance of getting your video viewed by a lot more people than rather than not optimizing it. So as we get into more video marketing, there are some pros and cons. So
no, I want to jump in real quick on that. So
go ahead.
a lot of that goes along very well with some of the previous topics that we've discussed here on this show, and that we discuss with agents all the time. Is that it's more than just getting someone to partner with you to sell their home or help them buy a home. We're talking about like relationship building a lot, and you could do that with video. You can do that with photo content that you post. The goal is to we talk a lot about giving our audience something of value to them, okay, to establish that trust between both agent and client, or brand and audience, whatever it may be. And as you mentioned, video, it can elicit all kinds of emotions. So it's a really good opportunity to showcase your real personality. We have agents who, Dawn Soprenic comes to mind, who she's doing this video interview series, and her personality really shines in that because she's got one of those bubbly, slight, kind of loud but fun personalities that would not really be able to reflect in anything other than video. And it's a great way to get yourself out there. And for agents who are, maybe you're nervous, maybe you are afraid to get in front of a camera, or you don't know what to say, the key is just to do it. We hear that the old Nike slogan when Shia LaBeouf had that commercial a while back of just do it. Give it a shot, because you're going to build it regardless. Now, I wanted to touch on, you mentioned three types of video, obviously for providing a service, teach them something, and upsell. What advice would you give to an agent when trying to determine how often to do which kind of video?
Very good point. So That would take into effect in thinking about the overall purpose of your video. Is it a part of a marketing campaign that you have where you're kind of showcasing a neighborhood, or is it a one-off video where maybe you show a little bit more personality and a funner side, similar to what a TikTok video would relate to, where it's their video content's a little bit more upbeat, trendy. It's a matter of taking into effect the purpose of what you're making that video for, and where does it fit in your marketing campaign. Some of the better videos that help get viewership are campaign videos that have 1, 2, 3 videos that are very relatable, where in those videos, if there's a segment that you want to allude to that was previously discussed in another video, you can put a link in your description and allude to that. And when you're recording the video and speaking to the camera, you can allude to other videos that you've done that touch on the topic, because that video wants to focus on X rather than talk about Y that you already did. So I would just take a bigger understanding of what's the purpose, how big is the campaign, who is it geared to, and I think that kind of sums it up really well.
Yeah, no, good stuff.
So once again, there's your to teach, to entertain, to sell. As human beings, we kind of have that filter and wall through us, where if someone's trying to sell us something, we just put that wall back up. But when you can entertain, teach, and make it fun and engaging, you're going to do a great job of getting people's attention, keeping people's attention, as well as keeping your business and name on the top of their minds.
And the 80-20 rule is like a good thing that I tend to live by, and talk to a lot of clients about when it comes to this. Is 80% of the time you want to give your audience, either you're teaching them something or you're providing them some form of entertainment or something of value, and the other 20% you're promoting yourself, your services, what you can do for them, trying to sell you. And a lot of I'm really excited to see a lot more agents really jump on TikTok and just show themselves, because I've so far every real estate agent video I've seen on TikTok, I've not seen a single one that's selling the actual agent on what they can do, but it's showing them having fun and in a real estate setting. And it's making them more personable. It's making them more entertaining. It's making me more likely to watch their full 3-minute video, when I really, especially at TikTok, you can scroll to the next one and move on really quickly. So that's something to keep in mind there. So that's you mentioned some pros and cons of video. So I know you have some pros.
Yes, one of there's a couple pros with it, with video marketing, and then one is what we just touched on earlier, is that it's one of the best ways to reach and connect with your future clients, your audience. You can connect them with many ways, with your personality, with the information that you want to share and teach and engage with them. It's the best medium to do that in comparison to audio, to print ads, to online ads, of all the other type of advertising and marketing. Video allows you the best opportunity for success in comparison to the rest. Nonetheless, it's also inexpensive to start off with. You have a phone that most likely has a camera with it, and that camera is phenomenal at capturing footage in 4K 1080. You can do things and play around with it, such as hyperlapses, boomerangs. So you have the camera in your pocket. It's of you just deciding to utilize that. Lastly, is that you don't necessarily need to be in front of the camera to create video marketing content. You can use, as an agent, old stock footage, pictures of your old properties, and put motion graphic templates on top of it. And it's really simple in providing informative information for your followers, for your subscribers. So there's ways to do this. If you're uncomfortable with talking and engaging in front of the camera, it's just finding out who are you, what's your personality, and how do you convey your information the best to those people. That would be your audience and subscribers. So as with anything in life, there's always good things and then there's always bad things. So the cons of video marketing, the biggest one is that it's time consuming. You need to not only have an idea, but cultivate it. You need to brainstorm. You need to be able to put your ideas down to paper and kind of do a rough storyboard. There's always those people that can just kind of have an idea and go and execute it, as well as being able to have this train of thought and continue it fluidly without stopping in front of the camera, kind of like what I'm doing now, where people stop and wells, likes, and so forth. Those are kind of the things that people will notice and start to lose their attention. So if you have, it just takes a lot of preparation that people don't necessarily keep in mind.
And, I just want to touch on a couple of things, both on the pros and cons side. Before I get into that, if those of you viewing, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. That way we can put them up on the screen if anything's not making sense, or if you want additional clarification on something, we're happy to do it. We'll also save some time at the very end for some questions that we don't get to. But back on the pro side, you talked about, I'm just going to go back to that slide real quick for our viewing audience. It's inexpensive to start, and we have phones in our pockets. It's not like even in 2010 when flip phones were kind of being phased out, but the cameras on some of the smartphones that were coming out just weren't high quality. And in addition to that, there's so many free apps that you can download to your phones nowadays that help you with this editing, so much to where you can just select the different files or images that you want to upload, and there's different templates that it'll essentially create it for you, and then you can make some minor adjustments if you want. It's super easy. I really look at it as something that anyone can do, as long as you have a little bit of patience and as we mentioned, an understanding of what your end goal is.
Yeah.
And then what's up?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, and then on the con side, trial and error, record and edit. It's not gonna be like, you're not gonna do it in one take and get it perfect. It's gonna take time, and there may be times when you post a video that you're not super happy with, where you could have done better, but you need to get it out. That's okay too. Getting stuff out there to improve upon it's how we kind of all get better at everything, really.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever someone starts a new hobby, a new sport, they're not going to be innately great at it. So it does take a lot of effort and time and patience to understand where you are and where you want to go. I always consider a good rule is that whenever I do a video for, whether I'm editing a video for someone or for my personal use, I always want to get 1% better at everything that I do. So I take that into account of what didn't I do great this time? Let me fix that the next time. But when you're creating these videos, you also have to consider just the overall marketing plan that you have. We touched on and how great it is can do TikTok style of videos where you can convey your personality, who you are. That's a better medium for that. But when we talk about video marketing as a whole, there needs to be more of a plan than just doing one-off videos. As I mentioned earlier, when you have a campaign of 2, 4, 5 videos that are correlated in a sense, but they're touching on different topics, then you could relate what you talked about and refer it to another video to eventually help your viewership on down the line, as you kind of grow your subscribers, as you continue to blossom into what would be YouTube's algorithm help, or even Instagram's, because they're both video friendly. So once again, it's nice to do one-off videos, but just don't make that the whole purpose, and give yourself a whole comprehensive plan to make this video marketing project and adventure as successful as it can be. So
yeah. And we do have a quick question from a user. Not sure exactly. Actually, I can tell you who it is from just going over here. Helen Ortega, one of our new agents at the Temecula office, wants to know a good app that you can recommend for putting words and graphics on screen. One that's super easy especially for our Windermere agents to use, is just Canva. You can upload your video. If you have the video file, you can add it. You can upload it into Canva, and then you can add text overlays to that super easily. If you saw the video I put into the Facebook group last Friday, kind of teasing this episode, at the end it segued into a graphic about the new time. I just did that in Canva. It took me 5 minutes. Adobe also has a great suite of tools, both mobile and desktop, that are easy to use. If you have a Mac, iMovie is just beyond easy to use. You can throw stuff on there easy. What else? Do you have anything you recommend, Michael?
I don't for adapting words to the screen, but you make up a good point that came to mind is that you can really be bilingual and convey that type of personality. You speak it in Spanish, you put the translation in English on the screen, and now you're able to reach a lot more audience. So it's definitely a good question to bring up. So thank you, Helen.
Yeah, thanks, Helen. Appreciate you chiming in during the conversation.
So as we kind of shine away from the cons of it, there's always a give and take, but this is where I kind of find the balance of video marketing is that if you want to be a luxury agent, you not only need to have that brand image of luxury, but the content that you're posting kind of needs to resonate with that image. And so what you don't want to do is take videos and have this shaky footage because once again, humans can kind of filter through that and see that this isn't really professional. So if you want to sell luxury real estate, you may need to consider hiring a third party that are professionals or even us, the We Marketing team. We're always happy to brainstorm and that doesn't cost anything, but to give it that professional look, we use the Adobe suite. I personally record in 4K and then make it adaptable to whatever platform it is. And when it comes to agents in the field, as a fan of Bravo and Million Dollar Listing, I want to give an example of Josh Altman. He sells the ultra high end of luxury real estate, but when I microanalyze his media and videographer, he keeps it really simple. I have no idea if he contracts or if he has someone that he's hired to be in-house, but really what they do for the videos is that they probably have a really good iPhone or a Droid, and they use this thing called a gimbal. It's just it's a device where you hold and it steadies your camera. And with really professional grade equipment, they're able to make their videos look high end for those luxury multi-million dollar houses. So there's always a balance. While you may need to kind of hire a lot of people, it may pay out in the end on what you're trying to sell. And if you are a luxury agent, you may need to consider that moving forward.
Yeah,
So,
especially like when you consider just some of the tools, like the gimbal, like these things, they're not bank busting expensive. They allow it to where you can still record high quality video on your own, and then where you may need that third party person to come in is to splice it all together, put together a final product that is really going to shine. And even that, when you factor in the expense of the products you're buying, that gimbal, and then you add in the video editing, it's really still not that expensive. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get high quality video. This is something that can be done for a really affordable price. And as you alluded to, these are services that we here at the We Marketing Agency, we do offer our agents. And so we can discuss, what your vision is. We can help you kind of hone in on a vision, and we can help you with shooting and editing. We can go over our price packages on those, and really help make sure that our agents are, they have everything they need to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, there's a company called DJI, and they make a really inexpensive gimbal for your phone. I believe it's called the Osmo Mobile, and this thing's about $150 or less. But considering how much you use it and that you can connect it to your phone, it comes with an app that makes looking at the footage really easily. This is something really simple that, once again, you can start doing, and the cost of doing it isn't that much. But yet the con would be is that it takes time to learn how to use a gimbal and all its features. So there's that trial and error again. But I see it all equaling out in favor of helping the agent.
Absolutely.
So,
all right. Like SEO.
Yeah. So as we get into YouTube, so now we're at a point where we've created this video. We want to share this content. And unfortunately, you cannot just put it up on YouTube and hope people see it. So this is what we're going to here to help you do in optimizing that video footage. And first off is the video itself. YouTube's algorithm has changed over these past years multiple times. And as of recently, to get the help of the algorithm, you need to shoot and export in 4K. We won't be touching on kind of export settings and video quality, but feel free to reach out to me. Maybe I can get Jake to post up my email to answer any questions in regards to video editing and export. But you need to post a video in 4K to get the algorithm's help from YouTube. If you don't, your video may not get that much viewership versus if it was in 4K. So that's really important. Next is coming to the title of your video. You need to keep in mind that people are going to watch YouTube predominantly by their phone. Next would be the tablet. Next would be in front of their computer. And the last method would be on a television. So the title of your video needs to accommodate where people are watching it. And it can't be super lengthy. It's got to be succinct. They recommend 70-ish characters. So you're really kind of giving a short description of what the video is about, as well as maybe the location. Next up is that if you post a video, you would have already created a channel. And separate from posting videos, you can put keywords for your channel. This is words that would, once again, go back to your brand identity, things that you want to be searched and correlated to when people look up Southern California beach homes or La Jolla real estate. These are, once again, having that brand recognition and those key points comes back to being extremely beneficial. Now, when we get back to the video itself, this is where you get an opportunity to be much more specific about words that are relatable to your video. If we're that coastal agent and we're shooting videos of our new listing in not just one location, but multiple beach properties, I would want to list those locations, those avenues, those popular beaches as keywords in the video, as long as a lot of other words that would be specific. I don't want to put California coastal real estate because that's really generic and a lot of people could be working and searching for that. So here you get a chance to be much more specific and kind of hone in on the niche specific words that would be related to your video. And so I encourage you guys to be specific because we don't want to be searching luxury real estate when there's countless other companies and agents potentially using that same keyword. So as we continue on with the SEO of YouTube, next up would be taking advantage of thorough descriptions. This is your opportunity to be as detailed as possible. You want to use your channel and video keywords, again, not excessively, but you get a chance to tell as much information as you would be that you didn't say in the video, that wouldn't be redundant if you're speaking and recording. You get a lot of characters to work with, and I think it's over 500, near to 1,000. I may be wrong, but
I think it's right at 500.
yeah.
I've been doing a lot of video uploadings for agents lately, and I want to say it's right around 500. Could be more. I know
you're right on that. And yeah, this is your point to just be descriptive, because once again, this is searchable stuff. And so the more things that correlate to your keywords for your channel and video can also be help found and enhance the optimization of your video. The next thing that you want to do is that what we touched on earlier is when you have a campaign of videos that talk about different subjects, but yet are relatable, this is your opportunity in that video to say, if you missed this topic, I put the link in the description below, and now the viewer has the opportunity to stop, check out that previous video, and then potentially, if life doesn't change, then they can come back to your video, continue watching. This is a great way, and viewership helps SEO, helps your SEO when it comes to YouTube. And of course, without that being said, you're being searched on Google, you're also being searched on YouTube.
Yeah, so YouTube's the second largest search engine there is. And correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comments, but fairly confident Google owns YouTube. So it's two of the biggest search and Google, YouTube itself, countless people go directly to YouTube to search things. If we want to see a tutorial on how to do something, first thing we do is go to YouTube. I've learned entire software programs just by watching YouTube videos. It's huge, and a lot of people are doing it. And with the descriptions too, this is an opportunity that you could plug yourself in the description. You can put links to your website, links to
Yep.
yourself. Make sure your name is in there, your DRE number, your website, stuff that if it were to be searched on Google itself and you would pop up, it's going to help your video pop up more.
Yep, definitely agree with all of that. You need to take advantage of the description, yet you don't need to write an essay, but you really need to draft a couple of good paragraphs that describe your video. So along with the description, there's other parts to take advantage of in SEO of YouTube, and that's the comments. Wanting to engage your viewers in commenting. You do this by pinning a comment after the video's upload to draw engagement, to ask people what they've experienced in utilizing your services or other agents' services. You want to create an open-ended question where people then can comment and start engagement. It's the more that people type, the more likelihood your video is going to climb up in that algorithm. And if you have someone that's just typing emojis, that's not going to be as beneficial as actually typing out a sentence and engaging with you. It
Emojis
can't
aren't
be
really
super short, but once again, it doesn't need to be a paragraph for the comments.
Yep.
Next part is that a lot of people will look up the location of where they're looking for, whether it's real estate, whether it's a restaurant. They'll tend to look up that location. And adding that location setting is once again another benefit that will enhance your SEO in your video of being found on YouTube. One of the other things is that sometimes putting a location to your video isn't the most advantageous. I'm sorry, but let's say you're doing kind of like a panel or a talking back and forth. The location may not be as beneficial as hashtagging the topic of the conversations. You may see this in kind of talk shows where they put up sound bites and clips of their most popular segments. They're not going to tag it Los Angeles, California. They're going to hashtag the topic of conversation to draw that interest, because once again, Los Angeles, California is pretty general, but the topic of conversation could be much more consequential and beneficial towards you searching. So there's different ways to utilize location hashtags, and you can't use both, but you definitely have to choose one or the other when you're writing out your description. So I think that's a lot of how to benefit through the algorithm of YouTube, Jake. So
lots of great information. I know it's a lot of stuff to go through. That's why we decided when we spoke before that we're going to do two episodes of this to really make sure that we can dive into some stuff in that second episode for our users. One question we do have from Facebook, Ellen Sue Watkins wants to know, how do we set up an account on YouTube? It's super simple. If you have a Gmail account, it's really already tied into YouTube. You can log into YouTube through your Gmail account. And then there's in the account settings in the drop down, it allows you to select create a channel. And then from there, you can start customizing. This is something that, if you want more information on how to set up a YouTube, or you want our help to do it with you, reach out to anyone here at the We Marketing Agency. We can definitely help you out. I'm going to throw that email, the general email for us here on the screen, scrolling there at the bottom. So yeah, it's some great stuff to get into. Great content today, Michael. Really appreciate you coming on. This. If you weren't able to make this live, and I know I'm talking to the people live right now, but for those of you, if you want to go back and review this later or anything, it lives here in the Facebook group. It lives on our public Facebook page now, and later on in the day, it will be on our YouTube channel. I'll throw the link to our YouTube channel into the comments after we get off here. And yeah, anything you want to say in closing, Michael?
I just want to piggyback off on that question. It comes back to just kind of having the patience, and this being a little bit time consuming. You just kind of need to sit down and kind of work through YouTube, and YouTube's not that difficult in comparison to other platforms that you could use for video marketing. So
Yeah.
it's really simple to go to your Gmail account, to go to YouTube, and then kind of navigate it through there. I think where we're all happy to help is those kind of keyword sections, specifically as it relates to your channel and then your video. I think that's where people could get a little mixed up and frustrated with. But once again, we're happy to help. It doesn't cost anything to brainstorm and run things past us.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Michael. Another great episode. Guys, we will be back next Monday at 1:30 right here in the Facebook group. Have a different guest on next week. I will plug that later in the week. Michael will be back with us in a couple of weeks to discuss part 2 of this and go deeper. And yeah, as always, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Phone numbers there scrolling at the bottom. Reach out to us via email, and we're happy to help. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.